Hey there, it's Wendy. Welcome. So happy you're here with me today. We are making an artsy fartsy card today. That's what I'm calling it because I didn't know what to name it. You know, one of the hardest things I do is trying to come up with names for blog posts and videos. So here is the Gather Together bundle, and I'm like throwing all the dies up here on it so you can see them. There's really cute dies in this. You can get this paper and this bundle starting September 4th. So FYI on that. And the links to purchase are below. This video is sped up. I'm not moving at superhuman strength, but we're going to talk about superhumans in just a minute. I'm not moving at superhuman speed, I should say. But yeah, so I just wanted to play. Okay, I just wanted to make a fun card and play and do the things. So I decided to take and use the leaf image and Sahara Sand cardstock and Sahara Sand ink, and we're going to background stamp this card. Now, normally when I make a card for you or a project, I do it first off video and make sure that it's going to come together okay. And I do that because I really just don't want to waste the time and energy filming something that's going to look stupid or that's going to come out bad. So I like to test it out first. I did not do that with this card, and it came together fabulously, and that made me super happy. So this is copper shimmer paint, and I do not use shimmer paint enough, and so I'm trying to be intentional about using it more often. And I just used my aqua painter and splattered it all over that, and then I cleaned off my aqua painter. It comes right off as long as you do it right away. I'm using Memento Tuxedo Black ink to stamp my pumpkins, and I'm stamping several because I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. So I thought I better stamp out enough that I could make some decisions based on I don't know what. Based on, how the card came together. So I did the other part first because I wanted that shimmer paint to sit and dry for a little bit before I moved on making the card. So I know that I wanted to make some of these look like gourds, if you know what a gourd is, and some look like pumpkins. So I started both of these pumpkins with Daffodil Delight, one light, one dark, and then I started layering the colors. So if you know anything about me, I love to color, and I love to use alcohol markers. It's legit my very favorite coloring medium, and I would use nothing but alcohol markers all of the time if I didn't feel like I needed to sometimes branch out and do other stuff. But it's my very favorite. I absolutely love it. So the bottom pumpkin ends up being my favorite, and you'll see why. So we covered the whole thing with the light Daffodil Delight, and then we're going in with the dark pumpkin and the light pumpkin, and then some dark Daffodil Delight, or actually, I'm sorry, that's Dark Mango Melody, I think, or Light, one of the two. Sorry, they're listed below the video. Okay, so then I just keep kind of going back over it and adding where I want to add and just building it. And then I'm going to cover the entire thing with that light Daffodil Delight, and as you can see, it came together very beautiful, and I have these fun highlights on the pumpkin, and the idea is the darker areas are the areas that indent. Okay, those are the inside areas, and the lighter areas are the rounded pieces that stick out. That's supposed to be what it looks like. So then I started to use Pool Party, and I was like, no, Pool Party does not work. So I grabbed mint macaron and used mint macaron on these pumpkins and Old Olive, and they came out beautifully. I didn't go too crazy with shading on the first set, but on the second set, I got definitely a little bit more intense with my shading and intentional in where I was putting the lights and the darks. and kept kind of going back over to make it darker in the areas I wanted it to be darker. And I love the second set of pumpkins even more than the first set, or gourds technically. We have a big gourd festival where I live, and every year in the fall, and they have like purple, blue, green, white, yellow, every color you can imagine of gourds. I didn't even know there were that many colors of gourds. So there's all of my pumpkins and gourds, and then I got to cut them out with the dies. And so let's have some story time while I finish putting this card together, and you just can kind of watch, and we'll jump back and forth to the card as I go along. And if you want instructions on all the dimensions, they are on my blog and they are listed below the video. I'm trying really hard to get better about putting them below the video. So, but everything's always listed on my blog, and the link to my blog posts are always below my videos, along with all the supplies that I use, so you can order from me, because, you know, that's how we feed the people around here. We feed them with Stampin' Up! Money. So there's that. Okay. Now I'm just like doing design elements. These are Whisper White leaves that I cut, and they have a texture to them, but you really can't see it because the lighting is so bright, but they're beautiful in person. So now you're just going to see me play around trying to figure out how I want this card to come together. All right, so let's talk about a few things. First and foremost, Superhumans. We have been watching, okay, back up. My family has watched the Avenger movies for a really long time, and I like half watch them. So I would come in the room and be like, oh, you're watching the Avengers, and I would like catch pieces. My husband and my child love the movies. So finally, this last week, I was like, okay, I'm going to put my phone away, I'm going to sit down on the couch, and I'm going to watch the very first Avengers movie, the entire thing. And if I like it, I will continue to watch them. But I have to purposefully force myself to be interested in the beginning, because they are not the type of movies that immediately catch my attention. I like all the pretty boys, because who doesn't? But I struggle like keeping up with the storyline. Okay. And I'm easily distracted, and I have a really hard time just sitting still and watching a movie. Seriously, like it's almost impossible for me to just sit still and do nothing. So I was like, when I set out to do this, I was like, okay, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch this movie, and I'm not going to get up. Like, I'm going to watch it. Okay. So I do. And I loved it. I was like, okay, I get it. I see why these people like these movies so much. So that then led into me watching all the Avenger movies, the 4 Avenger movies. There's 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I think there's 4. There might be 3. Anyway, I've watched them all over I've lost count because I've watched all of the Avenger movies over the last week. And now I'm watching the Captain America movies, because Captain America was my favorite in the Avengers. I loved him. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to need to see more of him. And again, it helps that he's pretty. So we watched the first Captain America a couple nights ago, and then I watched the second Captain America the other night. So I have one more Captain America to watch. And I love his storyline. Like, he is my favorite. And I don't want to give anything away, because maybe you haven't seen Avengers Endgame yet, but the end of the Avengers Endgame is super sad and happy at the same time, I guess. But anyway, comment and let me know if you're into these movies. Okay, so here you can see I finally figured out the placement of everything, and then I just really was like, should I add more? Shouldn't I? Should I? Shouldn't I? And I couldn't decide. And then I loved how this looked. Like, there was a bunch of like extra pumpkins stacked, or gourds, whatever, stacked in front. So I did end up deciding to add those. And then I had to add a sentiment, which I kind of forgot about until I got this far. And I was like, oh God, I need a sentiment on this card. So then you can watch me fuss and try to figure out how to do that. So anyway, that's what I've been up to in my free time in the evenings. And then we also got our hot tub. I told some of you, whoever watched, I told we bought a hot tub. Both my husband and I have back problems. I had a major injury in 2007. I got bucked off a horse and I broke my back. Bucked is probably a little bit of a strong word. He didn't really buck, but nonetheless, it resulted in the same thing. My back was broken. So I had major back surgery, and I have had some complications since December because I thought it was going to be a good idea to do some things that I probably shouldn't have been doing considering my injury. Anyway, going along, we thought maybe a hot tub would be really therapeutic for both of us, and so it finally arrived. They were supposed to deliver it on Sunday at 1 p.m. Okay, this last Sunday, August 25th. At 11:45, I'm at church and I see a text come on my phone. Yes, don't judge me. I saw my text happen. Church service was wrapping up, okay? And so I saw it was from my husband and I was like, oh, I better take a really quick look just to make sure that nothing crazy is happening. So I looked at my phone and it said, and it had a picture of the hot tub. So the people delivered it. And then church service ends and I get another text as I'm visiting with people after church, and he says, it's the wrong one. After he's filled it with water, he realizes it's the wrong one. So I'm really in distress at this point. I'm like, I gotta go. I gotta go home and deal with this situation. So I go home and get home, and yeah, it's the wrong hot tub. The colors on the outside are right, but the style that we chose is the incorrect one. So I'm like, okay, this is not good. This is a problem. Anyway, I pull out the receipt from the purchase, and basically it was our fault and their fault. They wrote the wrong hot tub model down. The hot tub we actually saw is the one we wanted, and it was the only one at the place. There was no, the one he wrote down for us isn't even the one we wanted because we didn't even see it. But also, I signed that piece of paper. So I was like, well, this sucks, because really we acknowledged that that was the right one, even though we just didn't pay close enough attention. You know how it is when you get a stack of paperwork about something and you're like signing it and you're not really, this is me. Okay, maybe you are the person that reads all the details. My mother-in-law, God bless her, she probably would have caught it because she is that person that like reads all the details. She's so good about stuff like that. I suck at stuff like that. I'm just like, let me sign it, let me sign it, let me sign it. I'm an impulse person. No two ways about it. You need a decision made quickly. I'm your girl. May not be the right decision, but it's going to be a decision. Here's my card. Look how cute. It's finished. Anyway, hot tub debacle is we ended up with a model that we didn't actually want, but I think it's going to be a blessing in disguise because it's got more seats than the one we ordered, or the one we thought we were going to be getting, and I think it's going to be totally fine. And of course, pumpkins and gourds need Wink of Stella because every pumpkin and gourd is sparkly and shiny in real life, right? Yeah. And so yeah, we are super happy, and the fact that I'm even telling you about this tells you how much of a first world problem this is, and it's a little embarrassing because, you know, it's a hot tub. Praise Jesus that we have one and that we could afford to buy one, and we're so freaking thankful for that because we've been in it like 2 nights and already I can tell a difference in my back. It's wonderful. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you want to shop with us, shoploveandstampin.com, and I'll check you later. Bye.